This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton. Pope Francis of the Roman Catholic Church ended the year by attending a Vespers service on Friday where he praised those who responded to the COVID-19 pandemic with responsibility and solidarity. The Pope did not preside at the service as had been expected. Instead, the duty was left to a senior cardinal. The Vatican did not explain why the change was made. Francis sat down for most of the service but walked to a podium and read his homily without apparent difficulty. Presiding over the service would have required a lot of standing, kneeling, and holding aloft a heavy gold vessel. Last year, Francis had to skip the service because of a flare-up of a condition that causes pain in his leg. The Pope is 85 years old. Around the world, New Year's Eve celebrations have been muted as countries deal with a surge of cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant. Authorities in Seoul showed caution, barring spectators from a traditional midnight bell ringing that instead was live streamed. In India, fearing a repeat of a devastating virus surge that overwhelmed the country in April and May, cities and states imposed restrictions on gatherings. Delhi implemented a 10 p.m. curfew. The UK also marked the new year in muted fashion, but under the warmest temperatures on record, near 15 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has warned of trying times ahead, saying Omicron could lead to a tsunami of cases. Many Western leaders have been hesitant to reimpose strict controls seen in 2020 for fear of sparking a new economic downturn, but on-again, off-again restrictions have still prompted frequent, vocal, and occasionally violent anti-lockdown protests. This is VOA News. Chinese President Xi Jinping stressed the importance of maintaining a strategic focus in his 2022 New Year's address and of being mindful of potential risks in the Communist Party's long-term vision to turn China into a global power. Xi in 2021 declared that China had achieved its aim of building a so-called moderately prosperous society. It's a milestone on its road to becoming a global leader in 2049, the 100th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. AFP is reporting that plainclothes police officers in Tunisia's capital on Friday arrested a senior official of the Ennahda Party, which played a central role in the country's politics until a power grab by the current president, Kais Saied. The party condemned the arrest of Noureddin Biri, a former justice minister and deputy president of the Islamist-inspired Ennahda Party. Tunisia was the only democracy to emerge from the Arab Spring revolts of roughly a decade ago, but civil society groups and the president's opponents have expressed fear of a slide back into authoritarianism. South Africans on Friday took their last chance to pay their respects to Archbishop Desmond Tutu on the eve of a funeral for the revered anti-apartheid fighter. Since Thursday, nearly 3,000 mourners have filed through Cape Town's St. George's Cathedral before the simple pine casket containing Tutu's remains. Members of Tutu's family hugged and consoled each other as the coffin returned for the second and final day of the lying in state. Tutu died peacefully, aged 90, on Sunday. He was considered a moral compass who had helped to haul the country out of the darkness of the apartheid era. Tutu was for years the emblem of the struggle to end white minority rule, as Nelson Mandela and other leaders languished in prison. A total of 45 journalists were killed worldwide in 2021, according to the International Federation of Journalists, or IFJ, on Friday. They said it was one of the lowest death tolls they had ever recorded. The IFJ said the media workers, more often than not, were killed for exposing corruption, crime, and abuse of power in their communities. According to the group's count, the Asia-Pacific region, which includes Afghanistan, was the deadliest with 20 killings. Then came the Americas with 10. Africa had 8. Europe had 6, and the Middle East and Arab countries just 1. The figure tracked closely with a toll of 40. Their lowest ever tally since they started keeping track in